My sibling got the house. I got a thank you for serving. I was still in my dress uniform when the lawyer read my father's will. Fresh off a 14-hour flight from overseas. Boots, still dusty from the desert. My sister Brooke sat across from me in designer clothes I'd never seen before. She wouldn't make eye contact. To my daughter Brooke, I leave the family home, all liquid assets, and the investment properties totaling approximately $2.4 million. I waited for my name. To my son Daniel, I leave my gratitude for his service to our country. Thank you for serving. The lawyer looked uncomfortable. That's the entirety of the will. I stared at him. Say that again. Your father left you a written statement of thanks. Nothing more. Brooke finally spoke. Dad knew what he was doing. He was lucid until the end. I'd spent 8 years in the army, 4 deployments, missed Dad's 60th birthday because I was in Afghanistan, missed Christmas 3 years in a row, missed his surgery because I was stationed in Korea and couldn't get leave approved in time. Every time I called home, Brooke answered, Dad's resting. Dad's busy. Dad says he's proud of you. I sent money home when Dad got sick. $600 a month for my deployment pay. For 18 months straight. The lawyer cleared his throat. There's also a letter. He handed me an envelope with my father's handwriting. I opened it right there. Daniel, I know this seems unfair, but Brooke was here. She took care of me when you chose the military over family. She sacrificed her life to be by my side. You made your choice. I made mine. I hope you understand someday. Love, Dad. I looked at Brooke. You took care of him? She shifted in her seat. Someone had to. I pulled out my phone, started scrolling through my bank statements. What are you doing? Brooke asked. Finding the receipts. I showed the lawyer my screen. 18 months of transfers, $600 each, all to an account Brooke set up for Dad's care. That money paid for his in-home nurse, I said, his medication, his physical therapy. Brooke's face went pale. That was just supplemental. I kept scrolling. Emails from the VA hospital, paperwork I'd filed from overseas to get Dad enrolled in veteran family benefits through my service record, benefits that covered 60% of his medical costs. The lawyer leaned forward. May I see those? I handed him my phone. Brooke stood up. This is ridiculous. I was physically there. I changed his sheets. I made his meals. I held his hand. I looked at her. When's the last time you visited him? She hesitated. What do you mean? I was there every day. The lawyer looked up from my phone. Actually, I have a question about that. Your father's medical records show he was in a care facility for the last 11 months of his life, not at home. Brooke's face changed. I felt my chest heighten. What facility? Shady Pines, the lawyer said. It's about 40 minutes from here. I turned to Brooke. You told me he was at home. You told me you were taking care of him personally. I visited him every week. The lawyer pulled up something else on his tablet. I'm looking at the visitor logs now. They're part of the estate documentation. He turned the screen toward me. Brooke's name appeared twice. Once in January, once in April. That was it. 11 months. 2 visits. I stood up slowly. Where's the money I sent? Brooke grabbed her purse. I don't have to answer that. The lawyer spoke carefully. Actually, if those funds were designated for Mr. Harper's care and were misappropriated, that's a legal matter. Brooke was already heading for the door. Dad wanted me to have the house. That's what matters. I blocked her path. You let him die alone in a facility while I thought you were by his side. You took my money. You poisoned him against me. And you're walking out with everything. She tried to push past me. Move. The lawyer stood. I'm going to need to pause this reading. There appear to be some discrepancies that require investigation. Brooke spun around. You can't do that. The will is final. Wills can be contested, he said, especially when there's evidence of undue influence or fraud. I pulled out my phone one more time. I have every text you sent me for the last 3 years. Every update about Dad. Every lie about being by his side. Brooke's hand was shaking now. I also have something else. Dad called me 3 weeks before he died. Her face went white. He was confused. Kept asking why I never visited. Said Brooke told him I refused to come home. That I said the military was more important than family. The lawyer sat back down. I filed for emergency leave the next day. Got it approved. Flew home. But when I landed, Brooke picked me up from the airport. She told me Dad had passed that morning. Said I just missed him. The room went silent. Brooke's voice cracked. He was already gone when you landed. I shook my head. I called the facility from the airport. Talked to his nurse. She said he'd been asking for me all week. She said he was still alive. The lawyer's pen stopped moving. I looked at my sister. You picked me up, drove me around for 6 hours, took me to lunch, showed me the old neighborhood. By the time we got to the facility, he'd been dead for 4 hours. Brooke didn't say anything. You made me miss saying goodbye to my own father. She grabbed the door handle. The lawyer's voice was cold. Miss Harper, I strongly advise you not to leave. I'm calling the estate's executor and recommending a full forensic audit. 6 months later, the will was invalidated. Brooke was charged with elder abuse, fraud, and theft. I got the house. She got 3 years.